why you still don't feel free, even though you run your own business. You left your 9 to 5 so you could feel more free. You left your 9 to 5 because you saw those memes that said, stop working 9 to 5, earn 6 figures in 6 days, become an overnight success, replace your corporate income. But the truth is, for a lot of people, running their own business is replacing the 9 to 5 with a 24/7. It's hard. It is hard work. So it's not surprising if you still feel like you're trapped in someone else's schedule, someone else's expectations, and someone else's energy. In this video, I want to talk you through and walk you through 3 mindset traps that are stealing your freedom, even though you technically work for yourself. So trap number 1 is about guilt. So we are taught that we are only productive if we are doing things. Especially when you've worked in a corporate career, you will have worked through lunch breaks. You will have stayed that extra half an hour, done that bit more. However, rest should feel productive. It's just that we've all been trained in this hustle culture, this keep going culture, this very British culture of keeping going. But when you're used to that hustle culture, it just feels wrong to rest and you can't see the value in it. If you feel guilty every time you take a break, you'll fill every gap in your schedule with business. And that includes lunchtime and after hours and 10 o'clock at night and that bit at 3 a.m. when you wake up forgetting to do something, even though you don't need to. What you can do about this is start with short, intentional breaks and celebrate them. Write down what rest actually gives you. And make sure you fill it with something rewarding. That could be reading a chapter of your favourite book, listening to a song and having a dance around your office, going for a 5-minute walk, going downstairs to cuddle the cats, whatever it is that brings you joy, whatever it is that makes that feel worthwhile time, fill it with that. What is that break giving you? Is it giving you clarity, patience, better decision making? Normalize understanding what the brilliant result is out of taking rest, and you'll become better able to accept how rest is a bonus in your day and not something you have to do and something you have to feel guilty about. So I started with taking Friday afternoons off. I'd stop work at 12. I'd stop doing meetings after 12. Not as a treat, but as a way to give myself that space and that creative freedom. I now take the entire Fridays off from meetings and it hasn't affected me in any way. Yes, my Mondays and Tuesdays might be slightly fuller of meetings. And it's not that I'm not necessarily working on a Friday, it's that I'm using that space to give myself clarity. I can be creative, I can record videos or content, I can write blogs, I can do stuff that's more for my business and working on it. And I don't feel guilty about that because that is the way my business is set up to serve me. So trap number 2 is over-identifying with productivity. We all do it as human beings. We believe that our worth is tied to our output, and this is quite a difficult mindset to break. But if you only really feel valuable when you're producing, when you're doing, when you're being busy, you'll end up pushing past your limits, your boundaries. You'll end up missing moments, and ultimately you'll end up resenting your business and your life. The way to combat this is to track the wins that have nothing to do with output. A brilliant idea, a well-handled conflict, a conversation that went better, a decision to say no instead of saying yes. You need to detach the value you associate on things from output to other more qualitative measures. Maybe it's just a feeling. Maybe it was just that you actually finished an entire cup of tea without allowing it to go cold. Find the things that allow you to recognize that a win, that your value, that your productivity, that your output for the day isn't tied to a thing. It isn't tied to how many documents you created, how many social posts, how many graphics. It's tied to other styles of achievements because that shifts your mindset from output related value to generalized value, and that is what you want. To be honest, I struggle with these. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that rest was laziness. Honestly, I didn't take lunch breaks for the first probably 3 years of doing this. I ate while I worked because I thought stopping was laziness. I thought boundaries made me unproductive and made me lazy. But actually, the more I leaned into being intentional with my time off, the more I leaned into allowing myself time to rest, to recover, to take micro pleasures from everything I do, the more I loved my business. A lot of the time, freedom isn't found in doing stuff over and over again. It's found in choosing what not to do. And you get that luxury. You work in corporate, you don't get that choice. You can't stop for an hour in the afternoon. You can't move things about. You can't nip out to an appointment and come back. We get to make that choice because we've been the brave ones that have started businesses. My third trap and my third mindset shift is around the fear of letting go. So obviously you want freedom. We all want freedom, especially with running your own business. But the idea of losing control and loosening the reins, oh my God, it scares you. And I get that. This business was my baby and I built it. And having to let go of that was really, really frightening. Having to delegate and trust another human is scary. But if you believe that no one can do it like you do, you'll end up doing everything. And that isn't freedom. That's becoming a martyr to your business. And believe me, you will end up hating it. Start by letting go some of the smaller tasks, some of the low risk ones. Let someone else handle scheduling or your inbox or your social captions. Experiment with what feels comfortable and what doesn't. Notice when you're struggling. Experiment, review, adjust, and find the perfect balance of delegation for you that allows you to let go. And as you get more comfortable with it, you can let go of more and more. I had a client that's a brilliant example of this. She brought me on for a social media contract. We had 2 amazing meetings. I turned out graphics and captions that she really loved. It wasn't until I hit post for the first 2 times that she realised how hard she found it having someone else post on her behalf. It wasn't that I didn't get her tone of voice right. It wasn't that I didn't get her graphics right. It's that she wanted to retain that level of, I am doing this because I am talking to my audience. And I let her out of the contract without the notice period because it wasn't right for her. You've got to find what is and isn't right for you. If this video has kind of hit a nerve for you and made you think, yeah, I'm doing those things. I am scared of letting go. I am tying my value and my worth to my output and my productivity, and I do feel guilty around rest. And you're ready to create more breathing space in your life. I've done a range of other videos. One is Ditch the Busy Badge, which are the simple shifts that create more space to breathe. And in that, I give you 5 tips for changing how you do what you do to make yourself freer in your business. All my videos are packed with ideas to help you build a business that feels better, not looks busier, because that is where the real freedom lies.